Welcome to Explore TV, where today we uncover the real secrets of the Bermuda Triangle. From lost missions to cutting-edge science, we're separating fact from fiction and revealing what the ocean's most mysterious corner is hiding beneath the waves. What if I told you the Bermuda Triangle isn't as mysterious as we've been led to believe? The Bermuda Triangle, where ships and planes vanish and legends thrive. For decades, this patch of the Atlantic has blurred the line between reality and myth. Today, we dive beyond the folklore to uncover the truth behind its fearsome reputation. The journey begins now into the heart of the world's most enduring maritime mystery. The Bermuda Triangle isn't on any official map. Ships vanish, planes disappear. But what if the real reason is hiding in plain sight? Natural phenomena like rogue waves, magnetic anomalies, and human error explain more than you think. But its boundaries, Bermuda, Miami, and San Juan, enclose over 500,000 square miles of treacherous ocean. Here, the Gulf Stream's powerful currents, deep trenches, and violent storms create a perfect storm of danger. Hurricanes and sudden squalls are common, and the seabed hides geological threats like methane blowouts that can swallow ships whole. Before modern navigation, these waters were a navigator's nightmare. The Triangle's legend is rooted in these real perilous conditions. The legend ignited in 1945 when Flight 19, 5 Navy bombers, vanished during a routine mission. A rescue plane sent after them disappeared too. 27 men lost in a single day. Sensational headlines followed, and soon, past disappearances like the USS Cyclops and Carol A. Deering were woven into a single, ominous narrative. Charles Berlitz's 1974 bestseller cemented the Triangle's myth, mixing fact with wild speculation. The Bermuda Triangle became a global phenomenon, mystery, industry, and legend. The Triangle's roots stretch back centuries. Columbus himself recorded strange compass readings and mysterious lights here. Over time, tales of ghost ships like the Rosalie and the Mary Celeste, though far from the Triangle, fed the growing myth. In an age before radio, vanished ships left only questions, fueling superstition and fear. Each unexplained disappearance added a new layer to the legend. The ocean's silence became the perfect canvas for mystery. In 1921, the Carol A. Deering was found aground, crew vanished, food still on the table, a true ghost ship. Despite a massive investigation, no explanation emerged. Theories ranged from mutiny to storms, but the mystery endured. The Deering's story, well documented and chilling, became a cornerstone of the Triangle's reputation. It embodied the region's signature enigma: intact vessels, missing people. The legend of the ghost ship still haunts the Atlantic, fueling the Triangle's dark allure. Over the years, strange disappearances in the Atlantic formed a chilling pattern. The USS Cyclops vanished in 1918 with over 300 aboard. No distress call, no wreckage, just gone. 2 sister ships later disappeared the same way. Theories ranged from storms to sabotage, but nothing was ever proven. These mysteries gave rise to the legend of the Bermuda Triangle, a place where ships simply vanish. December 5th, 1945. Flight 19, 5 TBM Avenger bombers took off from Fort Lauderdale for a routine training mission. An hour later, the control tower received a frantic call. Both compasses had failed and the pilots were lost. Despite efforts to guide them, the squadron vanished into the Atlantic. A massive search began, but another rescue plane disappeared too. In hours, 6 planes and 27 men were lost, never found. The loss of Flight 19 and the Mariner search plane was a shocking blow. The Navy Board of Inquiry could offer no answers, and the official report simply said causes unknown. This bafflement sparked the Bermuda Triangle legend. Soon stories of vanishing ships and planes, wild speculation, and supernatural theories took flight. The name stuck and the legend soared, becoming one of the 20th century's greatest mysteries. The Bermuda Triangle's most iconic legend is the spinning compass, navigators watching in horror as needles point everywhere but north. But is it really a magnetic mystery? The region is unique because magnetic and geographic north once lined up here. confusing navigators used to correcting their course. Experts say there's no strange force, just a misunderstood natural phenomenon fueling the myth. Deep beneath the Bermuda Triangle, the ocean floor hides vast deposits of methane hydrate, ice-like crystals trapping gas under immense pressure. If disturbed, these hydrates can erupt, releasing massive gas plumes that turn water into froth. Ships above could lose buoyancy and vanish in seconds, leaving behind only mystery. The ocean's power is real. Rogue waves, once dismissed as sailors' tales, are now proven threats. These massive, unpredictable walls of water can appear from nowhere, overwhelming even the largest ships. In places like the Bermuda Triangle, where storms and currents collide, rogue waves may explain many mysterious disappearances. No supernatural forces required. The Bermuda Triangle is infamous for its volatile weather. Sitting in Hurricane Alley, it's battered by ferocious storms, torrential rain, and winds over 150 miles per hour. Microbursts and sudden tempests can down even large airliners, leaving pilots and sailors little time to react. Many disappearances here are not supernatural, but the result of nature's overwhelming force, the true fury of the sky. Human error is the most common cause of accidents, even in the mysterious Bermuda Triangle. Pilots and crews facing storms and stress can make fatal mistakes, like Flight 19's leader, who became disoriented and led his squadron out to sea. Often these tragedies are not supernatural, but the result of simple misjudgment or mechanical failure. When the legend of the Bermuda Triangle is put under the microscope of critical investigation, many of the so-called mysterious disappearances begin to fall apart. The myth was built not just on real tragedies, but on a foundation of exaggeration, misinformation, and in some cases, outright fabrication. Dedicated researchers, most notably librarian and pilot Larry Kusher, have gone back to the primary sources, the newspaper articles, the official accident reports from the Navy and Coast Guard, and insurance records. What Kusher discovered and published in his 1975 book, The Bermuda Triangle Mystery Solved, was that the mythmakers, like Charles Berlitz, had played fast and loose with the facts. Kusher found that many of the incidents cited by Berlitz and others either did not happen as described, or did not happen within the Bermuda Triangle at all. Some vessels that were claimed to have vanished in calm weather had actually been lost during violent, well-documented hurricanes. The mythmakers simply omitted the reports of the severe storms to make the disappearances seem more mysterious. Other stories involved ships and planes that were never confirmed to exist in the first place, their names appearing only in the pages of sensationalist books. The legend was a house of cards built with carefully selected stories, stripped of their context and embellished for dramatic effect. Furthermore, Kusher revealed that the number of disappearances within the Bermuda Triangle was not unusually high when compared to other parts of the ocean with similar levels of traffic and volatile weather. Any patch of ocean with a high volume of ships and planes combined with frequent storms and challenging currents will inevitably have a higher number of accidents. The Bermuda Triangle is one of the most heavily trafficked shipping and flight corridors in the world. When you consider the sheer number of vessels that cross it safely every single day, the number of incidents is statistically insignificant. The triangle is not more dangerous, it's just more famous for being dangerous. The scientific approach, therefore, does not offer one single, neat solution to the Bermuda Triangle mystery. Instead, it provides a whole toolbox of logical and rational explanations. There is no single cause because there is no single, unified phenomenon to explain. Each disappearance is its own individual case with its own likely cause. Some were lost to rogue waves, others to hurricanes. Some were the result of mechanical failure, while many more were due to human error. When you combine these real-world dangers with the sloppy research and sensationalism of mythmakers, you get the perfect storm for a legend to be born and to endure for decades. The truth is not in the paranormal, but in the science. A legend needs a storyteller. For the Bermuda Triangle, that storyteller was Charles Berlitz. His book turned a niche curiosity into a global phenomenon, weaving sea tragedies into a myth that haunts us still. Berlitz gave the monster its name and shape, ensuring the world would never see that ocean the same way again. The power of print turned a local tragedy into a national obsession. In the 1950s, magazines like Fate began connecting mysterious disappearances, and by 1964, Argosy magazine gave it a name, the Bermuda Triangle. Sensational articles embellished facts, creating a legend that was more thrilling and profitable than the truth. The myth was now ready for its global debut. Just as every action has an equal and opposite reaction, the explosion of the Bermuda Triangle myth inevitably gave rise to a counter-movement of skepticism. As Berlitz's book flew off the shelves, a small group of researchers, pilots, and librarians began to question the sensational claims. They were not satisfied with tales of aliens and dimensional portals. They wanted facts. The most prominent and effective of these skeptics was a librarian and pilot from Arizona State University named Larry Kuscher. He was frustrated by the lack of solid information and the wild speculation surrounding the topic, so he decided to do what a good librarian does. He went back to the primary sources. Kuscher embarked on a painstaking multi-year investigation. He didn't just read the books by Berlitz and Gaddis, he went behind them. He requested the official accident reports from the United States Navy and the Coast Guard. He scoured the archives of newspapers from the time of the incidents. He checked weather records, shipping logs, and insurance documents. He meticulously cross-referenced every claim made by the mythmakers. What he uncovered was a staggering pattern of distortion, exaggeration, and poor research. The entire legend, he discovered, was a house of cards built on a foundation of misinformation. In his groundbreaking 1975 book, Kuscher systematically deconstructed the myth, one case at a time. He revealed that many of the mysterious disappearances had perfectly logical explanations that the mythmakers had conveniently ignored. For example, he found that many vessels reported to have vanished in calm weather had actually sailed directly into the path of documented violent hurricanes. He discovered that some of the most famous stories were of ships that never even existed, their names appearing for the first time in the pages of a pulp magazine. Others, like the famous ghost ship, had been included in the legend, despite having disappeared thousands of miles away from the triangle. Kuscher's conclusion was devastating to the legend. He demonstrated that the number of wrecks in the Bermuda Triangle was not, in fact, unusually high compared to other heavily trafficked ocean regions. The area was famous for being mysterious, simply because a handful of writers had decided to make it so. He accused Berlitz and others of deliberately fabricating details to sell books. If Berlitz were to report that a boat was red, Kuscher famously stated, the chance of it being some other color is almost a certainty. His work provided a powerful, fact-based antidote to the paranormal hysteria. For those willing to listen, Larry Kuscher had proven that the greatest mystery of the Bermuda Triangle was why the myth was ever believed in the first place. Once a legend is cemented in print, it is only a matter of time before it makes the leap to the screen. Hollywood, always eager for a thrilling story with a built-in audience, saw the massive commercial potential of the Bermuda Triangle. The myth was a perfect fit for cinema. It had action, mystery, suspense, and the opportunity for spectacular special effects. The film and television industry did not just report on the legend, they became active participants in its creation, amplifying the fear and the fantasy for a mass audience and burning the triangle's terrifying image into our cultural consciousness for generations to come. The 1970s saw a wave of films and television documentaries capitalizing on the craze sparked by Berlitz's book. Documentaries with ominous titles and dramatic narration presented the same cherry-picked incidents and speculative theories as fact. They used eerie reenactments, ominous music, and interviews with experts who supported the paranormal narrative, while largely ignoring the voices of skeptics like Larry Kuscher. These programs gave a powerful visual dimension to the myth. Audiences could now encompass spinning wildly, a plane engulfed by a strange green fog, making the fantastical seem terrifyingly real. The legend also invaded fictional storytelling. The 1977 blockbuster, directed by Steven Spielberg, famously opened with the rediscovery of the lost planes of Flight 19. They are found not at the bottom of the ocean, but inexplicably abandoned in the middle of the Sonoran Desert, their engines still working. The film's implication was clear. They had been taken by aliens and returned decades later. This single, iconic scene did more to link the Bermuda Triangle with UFOs in the public mind than 100 books could have. It was a masterful piece of cinematic mythmaking, weaving the real-world mystery into a modern sci-fi epic. From low-budget horror films like from 1978 to countless television specials, Hollywood kept the legend alive and well. Even when the initial public frenzy began to fade, the triangle remained a reliable trope, a go-to plot device for any story needing a dose of instant, unexplained mystery. The media created a self-perpetuating cycle. Books inspired movies, which in turn inspired more books and TV shows. Each new iteration reinforced the core ideas of the myth, often adding new layers of fantasy. Hollywood wasn't just telling the story of the Bermuda Triangle. It was actively making it bigger, scarier, and more unforgettable. Just when it seemed that science and skepticism might finally put the old legend to rest, a new force emerged to give it fresh life: the internet. In the digital age, the Bermuda Triangle has not faded away, it has mutated and thrived. The internet is the ultimate echo chamber, a place where misinformation can spread faster and wider than ever before. Websites, YouTube channels, and social media feeds have become the new pulp magazines, churning out an endless stream of content about the Triangle. Often with even less regard for the facts than the myth makers of the 20th century, the legend is no longer just in books and movies. It's 1,000 viral posts, 1,000,000 clicks away. Modern myth makers use the tools of the digital age to make their stories more compelling. They can edit together dramatic stock footage, add a haunting soundtrack, and present it as a documentary on YouTube. They can create slick graphics and animation showing portals to other dimensions or underwater alien bases. Clickbait headlines promise secrets finally revealed or new evidence shocks scientists. These videos and articles are designed for maximum engagement, not for accuracy. They often rehash the same debunked cases from Berlitz's era, presenting them to a new generation that may be unfamiliar with the original skeptical investigations by researchers like Larry Kusche. The nature of online platforms helps the myth endure. Algorithms are designed to show users more of what they already engage with. If you watch one video about the Bermuda Triangle, you will be recommended a dozen more. This creates a digital rabbit hole where sensationalism is amplified and critical viewpoints are often buried. In this environment, a well-researched debunking article struggles to compete with a flashy video filled with CGI monsters and conspiracy theories. The line between entertainment and information becomes hopelessly blurred, and the old, debunked legend finds fertile new ground in which to grow and spread. Ironically, the very same technology that has made the world's oceans safer than ever, GPS, satellite imagery, advanced weather forecasting, exists alongside a digital world that keeps the most irrational fears alive. Discovery Channel's Shark Week has been criticized for sensationalizing shark behavior, and in a similar vein, many modern unexplained mystery shows continue to present the Bermuda Triangle as a genuine paranormal hotspot. They keep the myth in circulation for ratings, ensuring that the legend, despite having been thoroughly debunked for nearly 50 years, refuses to die. In the digital age, the myth makers are no longer just a few authors. They're a global, crowdsourced network of content creators, ensuring the Whispering Ocean continues to haunt our screens. In the 21st century, a network of unblinking eyes watches over our world. Satellites and GPS have transformed the oceans from mysterious voids into grids of precise data. Today, ships and planes know their exact position, storms are tracked in real time, and distress signals summon help instantly. The Bermuda Triangle is no longer a blind spot, it's one of the most closely watched places on Earth. The Bermuda Triangle, once infamous for mysterious disappearances, has gone quiet in the modern era. Today, thousands of ships and planes cross safely every day. The legend has faded. Travel here is overwhelmingly safe and uneventful. The Triangle's silence reveals that the real mystery was simply the limits of old technology. The Bermuda Triangle's reputation is legendary, but the facts tell a different story. Many other regions, like the South China Sea and the English Channel, are far more dangerous for ships and planes. Insurance companies don't charge higher premiums for the triangle because it's not unusually risky. The triangle is just another part of the ocean, not the epicenter of maritime disaster, the legend suggests. When you turn away from the sensationalists and ask the people who know the ocean best, the scientists, the professional mariners and the authorities who police these waters, the verdict on the Bermuda Triangle is, well, unanimous and clear. The mystery is a myth, a work of fiction that has been debunked time and time again. The United States Coast Guard, the very organization responsible for search and rescue in a large portion of the triangle, has been unequivocal on the matter for decades. They state publicly that in their experience, the number of casualties in the region is no greater than in any other part of the ocean, and that there is no evidence to support the supernatural claims. Oceanographers and meteorologists offer a similar consensus. They point to the powerful, scientifically understood forces at play in the region: the violent and unpredictable weather, the strong currents of the Gulf Stream, the vast depths of the ocean trenches, and the potential for geological hazards like methane blowouts. For these experts, there's really no need to invent paranormal explanations when the natural ones are so powerful and sufficient. Dr. Carl Kruszelnicki, a prominent Australian scientist and author, has extensively researched the topic and concluded that the incidents are best explained by a combination of human error, bad weather, and the fact that a high volume of traffic will inevitably lead to a higher number of accidents, a matter of simple probability. Even the United States Navy, whose lost aircraft in Flight 19 formed the cornerstone of the legend, does not recognize the Bermuda Triangle as a place of paranormal significance. Their official position is that the losses, while tragic, can be attributed to a combination of human disorientation and severe weather. They have never subscribed to the theories of magnetic anomalies or alien abduction. For these professional organizations whose operations depend on facts and data, the Bermuda Triangle is frankly a closed case. The mystery persists not because of a lack of evidence, but because of a stubborn refusal by some to accept the evidence that exists. The world's leading scientific and maritime institutions have all moved on from the Bermuda Triangle myth. They treat it not as an ongoing scientific inquiry, but as a case study in how folklore and pseudoscience can capture the public imagination. The experts have rendered their verdict. The region's dangers are real, but they are natural and understandable. The mystery itself is a product of human storytelling, not of any anomaly in the ocean. The continued belief in the legend is a testament to the power of a good story to outweigh the power of cold, hard facts, even in our modern, technologically advanced age. Despite science and technology debunking the myth, the Bermuda Triangle endures because we crave mystery. It taps into our deepest fears and love for stories, offering meaning, wonder, and a sense of magic in a world that feels explained. The legend lives on, not because it's true, but because we want it to be. That the ocean's mystique endures, woven from myth, tragedy, and science. The Bermuda Triangle became a symbol of our awe and fear, a place where the rules of reality seem to bend. We crave mystery, even in a world mapped and explained. The legend lives on because the ocean is our last great unknown, a mirror for our deepest fears and wonder. The Bermuda Triangle's legacy isn't about paranormal truth, but its powerful impact on culture and myth. It's a case study in how real tragedy, sensationalism, and public fascination can forge legends that outlast the facts. For decades, it's been shorthand for mystery, shaping how we see the unknown and sparking curiosity about the ocean. The legend may be fiction, but the sense of awe and wonder it inspires is very real. Our journey through the Bermuda Triangle ends here. We've sailed from legend to fact, through storms of speculation to scientific truth. The legend persists, woven into our culture, because our appetite for mystery is endless. The Final Voyage isn't about myths or facts. It's about the journey, the questions, and never losing our sense of wonder. Mystery, myth, or misunderstood, the Bermuda Triangle continues to stir our curiosity. If you're fascinated by the unexplained and love exploring the truth behind the world's greatest legends, you've found your home right here on Explore TV. Hit that subscribe button, tap the bell icon, and join us every week as we dive into the deepest mysteries of our world, one story at a time. Until next time, stay curious, stay bold, and never stop exploring.